Welcome back, everybody. If you thought Chairman Comer and EPA Administrator Zeldin were a big deal, we got another one right next to him. Coming up now, a congressman from the great state of Arizona, one of the most cogent voices when it comes to civil liberties and getting trust back in our law enforcement. He's Congressman Andy Biggs. He's also running for governor of Arizona. Congressman, good to have you back on the show.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Amanda. Good to be with you.
You as well. All right, I want to start with something we mentioned at the top of the show. New Arctic frost documents released by House Judiciary from Kash Patel. You get to see 160 Republicans are being targeted by this investigation. It's not a narrow investigation about January 6th. It looks like a mapping of MAGA, a dragnet of MAGA. Your reaction to the new documents and what we've been learning about Arctic frost the last few weeks?
Well, first of all, thank you for you guys' consistent and unwavering investigation into this horrific violation of civil rights in America today. This is absolutely one of the core pieces of evidence of the weaponization of the federal police state. So if you look in my home state in Arizona, the people who are being investigated here included state legislators, a senatorial candidate, people who were just rank and file advocates, grassroots activists for Republican causes. They were investigated using the apparatus of the special counsel, but also the J6 committee. And there's a reason why the J6 committee actually needed to get all of them and their staff needed to get pardoned, because they were violating right after right and using it against political enemies. It's bad enough when you're using it and you're violating rights because you're sloppy or because you have a personal agenda. But when you are using it for political purposes against political enemies, which is why it was 160 plus Republicans, then that is absolutely about as low as you can go. And people need to be held accountable.
Yeah. Congressman, I want to shift to the shutdown. We're at day 28, which I think is, 3 days away from the record, which was during President Trump's first term at 31 days. But there's a recent poll out, CNN was forced to cover it earlier today, that with the approval rating for Republicans during this shutdown, they're improving their rating with not only Republicans, but also independents. They're up 12 points with Republicans and 8 points with independents. With those types of numbers, do Republicans have any reason whatsoever to waver on this shutdown?
No, and we should not waver at all anyway, because we did what we were required to do. The House voted to open it up 6 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, whenever it was. And then the Senate, the Republicans in the Senate have voted overwhelmingly over and over and over again to open up government. It's the Democrats who have said no. And I mean, that's why you actually are starting to see some fractures in the Democrats in the House and the Senate, because they know they're the ones who are thwarting opening government.
Yeah, and they're losing that battle every day. Now the unions have turned on them. Those with SNAP benefits are turning on them because they know they're not going to be able to meet the requirements at the dinner table soon. Do you feel like the moment's ahead where the Democrats are going to finally fold their cards?
Well, because I am seeing some fractures, if honesty were to prevail, I think it would happen tomorrow. Look, you've got the governor who's a Democrat of Arizona. You've got the two senators in Arizona who are Democrats. They literally wrote a letter to the head of the USDA, which is Brooke Rollins, and said, please open up and give us the contingency funds for SNAP. But here's the deal. Hey, you know what it takes, Mr. Kelly and Mr. Gallego? It takes walking down to the floor and voting yes on opening the CR, which was bipartisan and is the same language that was there 6 months ago. But they went down again, even after they wrote that letter. After they wrote that letter and said, no, keep it closed. Shame on them.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Sir, you are a fiscal hawk up on Capitol Hill. I know you're going to do that in Arizona as well. But we have a major problem when it comes to the SNAP program that John mentioned. The American people spend $145 billion a year. On top of that, there's all sorts of fraud, people selling off their EBT cards for cash at a rate of 4 to 1. I mean, it is rife with fraud. But not only that, it costs so much money. Is now the time to take a serious look at this program, much like we have, or much like President Trump has with illegal immigration? Is now the time to do a radical do-over?
Well, I don't know if you do a radical do-over, but one thing I will tell you is this program, like every other program that's been doged, has found massive fraud. And you should clean out that fraud. You got to clean out the fraud. The sooner, the better. Not just in obviously this, but in Medicaid, with you just name a subsidized program, and there's massive fraud. And so it's time to clean out all of them because this country's going off the edge. And so my mindset is let's clean out the fraud, let's stop the duplication, and then let's reassess where we are. And I'm plenty happy to do that.
Some of the biggest beneficiaries are the people that will rely on those programs because now they'll know they'll have the refunds not being stolen for them. It's just so easy to fix, but it's been so hard to accomplish in Washington. I want to turn back to where we started the conversation before we let you go, Congressman. You were a part of a small group of lawmakers who unraveled Russia collusion. From day one in 2017, I watched you day in and day out, you and Jim Jordan and Devin Nunes and lots of other, a handful, like 6 or 7 people, day in and day, and peeled back that onion. And what we saw was that the FBI was used for political dirty trick and opposition research. It looks like with Arctic Frost, the Congress, the Democrat J6 committee, was that opposition research project for the Democratic Party, but doing the work of the Democratic Party at Americans' expense. Do we have to look at some reforms at how Congress goes about its own oversight so we don't have abuses in the future?
Yeah, we do. And the way you do it, quite frankly, is the first thing you have to do is you have to hold people accountable who abused the system. And they did abuse the system. And by the way, no one's held them accountable for destroying the evidence that they ostensibly put together to support their continued invasion of Americans' rights and privacy. If we don't do that, this type of thing will continue on. And if it continues on, the American people's trust in their institutions, which is already low, will continue to erode. And who can blame them? Who can blame them?
We're all going to be for the worse if we don't get that accountability meted out pretty soon. I know you've been working hard to get that done. It's a great honor to have you on the show today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's always good to be with you, too.
Yeah, thank you, Congressman. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, one of my favorite segments of the week, the weekly health update. We're all trying to get healthier. We got some good tips and advice for you coming up next, right after these messages. Hey, folks, I knew we all have 2 ages, our actual age and our body's internal biological age. What I didn't know is I've likely lowered my biological age without even knowing it. Here's the thing, because Americans eat so many processed foods and not enough fruits and veggies, many are 10 plus years older on the inside than their actual age, and that is a ticking time bomb. Major university study suggests how to slow aging and diffuse that biological time bombs. Participants slowed their aging by drinking Field of Greens. That's all. They didn't change their eating, drinking, or exercise, just took Field of Greens. Each fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was doctor selected for specific health benefits: cell health, heart, lungs, kidney, metabolism, even healthy weight. I feel great knowing Field of Greens can slow how quickly I'm aging, and I encourage you to join me. Swap your untested fruit, vegetable, or green drink for Field of Greens while there's still time. Check out the university study and get 20% off when you use the promo code JUSTNEWS at fieldofgreens.com. That's fieldofgreens.com, promo code JUSTNEWS.